scaling the gate size. So we considered the example of a NAND gate, NAND 2 I think, and I said it is driving a big inverter, okay, and this inverter had a size of 32x. Okay, x is basically talking about the size of the inverter with respect to the reference inverter. Okay, so a reference inverter will have size 1x, and that we have earlier shown that its circuit, if I draw, so this is VDD and this is ground, and the size that we talked about for reference inverter is, here it will be 2 and here it will be 1. So this is the reference inverter. Now when we say 32x, what we mean is every transistor is now upsized. So there is a PMOS transistor, earlier it had a size of 2, and then we had NMOS transistor, earlier it had a size of 1, but when the inverter is upsized by 32 times, the size will become 2 into 32, that is 64, and here it will be 32. Okay, so this is what we mean by 1x and 32x. Okay. Now what about the capacitance of these parasitic capacitance, the input and the output capacitance? So if you look at the parasitic capacitance of the reference inverter, we said it is basically 2C plus C, so that will be 3C, where C is the capacitance of NMOS with size 1. And similarly at the output also we had parasitic capacitance, and that is basically the diffusion or junction capacitance of the two drains, so that will also be 2C plus 1C, that is 3C. So this is the case with the reference inverter. And the charging and the discharging time or the delay, you could write in terms of this as the resistance for charging as well as discharging is made to be R, so this is going to be 3RC. So you can say that the propagation delay is 3RC. What would happen if you what will happen to the propagation delay if you scale up the size 32 times? So first of all, again we have to see the capacitance. So the input capacitance, here it is going to be 3 into 32, so that we said it is 96C, and here also it's going to be 64 plus 32, which is 96C. Okay, so that will be the capacitor, and therefore what is going to be the delay? So if you calculate the delay, the resistance is now changed. Okay, capacitance is changed, but also the resistance is also changed. So resistance is going to become, earlier it was R, now it will be R by 32. R by 32, and capacitance is basically 96C. So we get the same delay. So the parasitic delay does not change Okay, parasitic delay does not change with the scaling of the so that's the conclusion. So let me write it here as a note. Parasitic delay doesn't change with the size of the gate. Okay, it stays the same. Okay, now we are considering another case, the above case here. There is a NAND 2. So this is a NAND 2, and then we have a large size inverter. So NAND 2 output is driving this big inverter. So we can write the capacitance here. The capacitance at the input of this big inverter we already saw, that is 96C. Okay, let's assume that this NAND 2 is just 1x size. Okay, let me just, so this is 32x and this is 1x, suppose. Okay, we will see what will happen if we change the size or when we upscale this NAND gate. We will see what is going to happen. So now if it is 1x, the parasitic capacitance at the output of this NAND gate is going to be what? So that you need to have some knowledge about the NAND gate circuit. So NAND gate circuit, if you go back, you have NMOS, two NMOS in series, and then you have two PMOS in parallel. Okay, so you can give this A, B like this. So this is your VDD. So if it is NAND 2 with the size 1x, everything is going to be 2. That's what we said. Okay, so now the output capacitance is basically 2 plus 2 plus 2C. So that is going to be 6C. So this is going to be 6C. I think I told that yesterday. Now what about the input capacitance? So there are two inputs here, and each of the input will have some capacitance. So the A input will have a capacitance. So that will be the combined gate capacitance of one PMOS and one NMOS. Okay, so each of them has size 2. So this is going to be 4C. And similarly, there is going to be capacitance here also 4C. Okay, so two inputs are there for NAND 2. Each of the input will have a capacitance 4C. Okay, so this is our capacitance values. Now we are considering the delay of this NAND 2 gate. So that means we are looking at the point between these two points. So what is going to be the delay? Okay, for this section, what is going to be the delay? For the signal, after it changes at the input, how much time it takes for the signal to reflect at the output in correspondence with the change in the input. So that is what we are looking at. So let's call it as tau. So there are two capacitance at the output, and they will get charged through resistance R. Okay, we are considering, if you are considering charging through one of the resistance, the resistance is going to be R. So we have actually sized the NAND gate in such a way that charging and discharging path resistance is R, okay, which we have seen earlier. So if you draw the equivalent circuit of charging, taking the worst case, so this is your VDD, and you have a capacitor that is getting charged, and this is basically 96C plus 6C. Okay, I said there are two components. One is the parasitic components and the other is the load. So this is load. Okay, so this is your load and this is your parasitic. Parasitic capacitance. Okay, so both will add together. Okay, one is at the output of NAND gate, the other is because it is driving the next stage, which is a huge inverter. So it has to charge both. So the voltage will rise only when both capacitance are combinedly charged. The equivalent capacitor is getting charged. Okay, so this will be what? So the tau, if you calculate the tau, tau is going to be equal to R into 96C plus 6C. I think this is what we have seen yesterday. Okay, this much we have seen yesterday. Now what we are going to see is what is the effect of upscaling the NAND to by a factor. Okay, so let's say let's redraw the circuit. So we have again the NAND gate. Did I put the bubble here? Yeah. So now we are upscaling. So that means the new size, let's say it's basically k times kx. Okay, and I'll put the output, that is the input capacitance of the next stage. I will call it as CL, okay, which is the load. So the load is mainly due to the input capacitance of maybe an inverter or some other gate. So now what about the input and output capacitance of the NAND gate? So if you look at that, so all the capacitance are now scaled. So if you go back to the earlier diagram, when you change it to k, so instead of 2 it will be 2k. Okay, everywhere it is going to become 2k. So so let me redraw this again. So this is the PMOS. So earlier it was 2, now it is 2k. Everything is scaled by 2k. So that's what we mean by upscaling by a factor of k. So when it was 1x, it was 2, 2, 2. Now it is 2k, 2k, 2k. Okay. So now, so what about the output capacitance? So now it is this output capacitance, the parasitic capacitance is going to be how much? Earlier it was 6C, so now it is going to be 6kC, and the input capacitance, that is 2k plus 2k, that is 4kC. Both are 4kC. So this is how the capacitance will get charged. And now what about the resistance? So the resistance will be coming down. Okay, so this is scaling NAND 2 by a factor of k. So this will be the resultant circuit. So now if you estimate the delay, what we can say is tau is going to, so just like earlier we have drawn the equivalent circuit, now we can draw the equivalent circuit here also. So you can consider charging or discharging. So this will be now R by K. And it will be so let's take CL as the capacitance. So CL plus 6 KC. Okay, so consider the charging like this. So then what is going to be the delay? So the delay is given by R by K into CL plus 6 Kc. Okay, so this is equal to let me write the other order, parasitic plus, so parasitic is 6 Kc plus Cl. So this is what? So this is basically, so this Kk cancel here, so it is going to be 6 Rc plus RCl by K. Okay, so if you take so if you compare it with the earlier delay, so this is basically 96 or 6 Rc plus 96 Rc. Okay, so if I take Cl is equal to 96 C, then tau become 6 Rc plus this is going to be, Cl is 96C, so it is going to be 96 Rc divided by K. So the effect of upscaling the NAND2 is to reduce the delay. As you can see that now the delay is reduced. So earlier it was, so you have to compare these two expressions. This is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, so the parasitic part is the same. So as I have written the note, the parasitic delay does not change with the size of the gate. Okay, with the upscaling or changing the size of the gate, the parasitic delay doesn't change. But what changes is the second component, which is basically due to the loading from the next stage. Okay, so that delay will be reduced if you change the size or increase the size of the NAND gate, and the load doesn't change when you change the size. Okay, it will still drive the same following section. If it is an inverter, it will drive that same inverter, but now since the resistance is now down by a factor of K, from R it has become R by K. So if you increase the size, the resistance comes down though the parasitic capacitance goes high. Because the resistance comes down, there is a higher current that is flowing into the load resistance or load capacitance. So it will quickly get charged to VDD. And similarly for discharging also, the discharging path will also have a similar increase in speed. Now, so this will be roughly, though it is not fully correct, so this will be the resistance is R by K. Okay, so this is your CL plus 6 Kc. So here I am ignoring the actual network. The actual network has is 2 Kc here also. Okay, so there is a shared region, so there will be a capacitance there, but I am ignoring that. Okay, so this is like a first order, neglecting some more detail or accuracy. If you so roughly you can do that for a estimate. You can do that, though it is not an exact analysis. So for exact analysis, you need to draw what we have earlier done. Okay, so that is basically the same resistance, so like this, and there will be one more capacitance here like this, and then discharging is like this. Okay, so there will be some discharging from here also. So that is the exact analysis. We have to use the Elmore delay model, and we have seen in the case of NAND2, I think we will get 7C instead of 6C. Okay, so some difference will be there, but that difference I am ignoring for the moment. I am ignoring that difference. Okay, so we are basically simplifying it further. The model is so this is a more simplified model. So just to get an estimate or the trend of how things change with upscaling, so we can use a more simplified model for discharging. In the case of charging of NAND2, it is still the above model, so that is the worst case. But for discharging, for discharging, the actual model is something like this, where this is the resistance are basically R by 2K, R by 2K, and there is a capacitance. So this capacitance, as it will be CL plus 6 Kc, and here it is going to be this is going to be a shared region, and what will be it? The size is 2K, so it will be since it is shared, it will be 2 Kc. Okay, so this is the actual model, but I am taking a more simplified model just to see this. So if you taking this model, now we are seeing that the propagation delay is reducing. It has two parts. The part that is due to the load capacitance get reduced. Okay. Now it will be more convenient if we talk about what is called as normalized delay. So let us discuss what is called normalized delay. Now normalized delay means the delay that you find out, you normalize it with respect to the delay of a reference inverter. So you divide. Okay, suppose T gate. Okay, the gate could be anything, NAND, NOR, etc., whatever, NOR 3 or NAND 2, whatever is the gate. We find out the delay using an approximate model, and then whatever delay we get, we divide that by the delay of the reference inverter. Okay, and one thing that we need to be careful is that when we normalize it, we have to normalize it with a reference inverter which is of the same size or same drive capability. Okay, so suppose T gate is is the delay of a gate. Okay, so gate could be NAND 2 or 3, etc., any of this, with some drive capability. Now what is drive capability? The factor k, that's what I am. So in order to increase the driving capability, we upscale it. Okay, so I can just put it that in bracket, that factor by which you are increasing. So if T gate is, or tau gate is the delay of the gate with some drive capability k, then it's normalized as delay. Let's is obtained by dividing tau gate by the delay of reference, of dividing it with the delay of the inverter with the same drive capability. Okay, so that is how we find the normalized delay. So let's take some examples to find a normalized delay. Okay, so normalized, since we are dividing by tau by tau. Okay, so we will basically get a unitless parameter after normalization. So question, find the normalized delay of NAND 2 with size, with unit size. Okay. So normalized parasitic delay, let's call it as normalized parasitic delay of NAND 2 with the unit size. So how do we do that? So first find out the parasitic delay of NAND 2, which we have just now found out. So T NAND 2 is basically given by 6 RC. Okay. And now so this is by taking 2 2 2. Okay, I am referring to this figure. Okay, here. So this is the figure I am referring to. The reference NAND gate or unit NAND gate means all transistors PMOS, NMOS are 2, so the output capacitance is going to be 6C, parasitic capacitance is going to be 6C, and multiply it with the resistance, so that will give you 6 RC. Now what about the normalized value? So the normalized value is 6 RC divided by the delay of a unit inverter. Okay, so the delay of unit inverter is what? It is 3 RC. Right? So unit inverter has PMOS size 2. Here it is. So 3 RC. So 6 RC by 3 RC, which is equal to 2. So that is basically the normalized parasitic delay of NAND2. Okay, so another, find the normalized parasitic delay of, say, NOR3 with the scaling factor of, say, 4. So what we are actually aiming is to find, so this is our NOR 3 and it is given 4x. Okay, so first of all we want to find out the output capacitance and the output delays. So what will happen? So what are the capacitance for a 4x size? The output capacitance is going to be, so it is NAND 3 so NAND 3 will have sorry, NOR 3 will have, so there will be 3 parallel paths for NMOS, and then PMOS will be like this. So this is our output. So it could be A, B, C, A, B, C. So this is a circuit for NOR 3. Now what are the sizing? So normally we keep NMOS as size 1, okay, for getting a resistance R, because they are in parallel, but here it will be all multiplied by 4. That is 4x means. K is 4, so everything has to be scaled up by a factor of 4. And normally we keep the PMOS as 6, right? PMOS, so that the resistance of the series combination. So each, if it is 2, you have R. So when 2 becomes 6, you will have R by 3, R by 3, R by 3, R by 3 in series. So that will give you R. So you have to keep 6, 6, 6. But now since we have a multiplication by a factor of 4, you have to make everything 6 into 4, so which is 24. So 24, 24, 24. Okay, so what is going to be the delay? Again, I am using a very simplistic model. Ignoring the capacitance in between, okay, while charging. Okay, that will also contribute some of it, but we are only looking at a trend, so we are looking at a more simplistic analysis. So the resistance through which it gets charged, or you can consider discharging also. So if you ignore the in between capacitance, charging and discharging time will be same, okay, because the same capacitor gets charged through same resistance or discharged through the same resistance. So resistance is basically R by 4. So if I consider discharging, the resistance is going to be R by 4, and what is going to be the capacitance? So you can see what are the capacitance, which are, so 4, 4, 4. So 3 into 4 plus 24. Okay, so 3 4s are 12, and so this is going to be 36C. Okay, so there is a 24C here, 4C, 4C, 4C. So 24C plus 12C, so that is 36C. So this is the discharge. So what is going to be the delay? So this delay is going to be R by 4 into 36C. So normalized parasitic delay, if you look at, so this is going to be 9 RC. Now 9 RC is what you would get even with a unit NAND 3 gate. So this is 4x NAND 3 gate, but with unit NAND 3 gate also, because we said parasitic delay doesn't change. Okay, so that shows that if you take a unit NAND gate and divide it by the unit reference gate, you would get the correct value of normalized delay. So, but let me just first write this way: NOR 3 with the 4x. This is equal to T NOR 4x divided by, so this has to be divided by the inverter delay, so tau inverter 4x. Now inverter will have so what will be the delay of the inverter with 4x? So that is going to be 3C. It doesn't change. So this is going to be same as T NOR 3 unit and T inverter unit. So this is equal to, so unit inverter and unit NOR 3 gate, if you take, you will take the same ratio. It is the same ratio because parasitic capacitance. This is only true for parasitic capacitance. Okay, so if there is a load, things are going to be different. So that is what we are going to see next. So here the question is normalized parasitic delay. So that is more simple. So that is 9 RC with 3 RC, which is 3. Okay. Now, what does this tell us? Okay. So this tells us that whenever we want to find out normalized delay, it is enough to take the output capacitance of a particular gate and divide it with the output capacitance of because the resistance is going to be same, only the capacitance are going to be differing. So it is enough to take the ratio of output capacitance of the gate with the output capacitance of the reference inverter. Okay, so now let's evaluate normalized delay with the load capacitance. So let's take some example. Again, NAND 2 with size kx. Okay, so that means k times the unit NAND 2 gate. That's what I mean by kx. Driving a load CL. Okay, so this we have a little before found it out. What we got was So tau gate for tau NAND2 with the kx size, we obtained it as, we had a parasitic which was basically 6 RC, which doesn't change with the size. Okay, it is entirely a constant thing with respect to scaling, plus the other part was basically, what was it, that was CL, what was it? Okay, so RCL by K, RCL by K. Okay, RCL by K. So where CL is the load capacitance and K is the size of NAND2 gate. Now we need to divide this with the okay, so so let us now normalize it. So that is NAND2 kx normalized. So if you normalize it, what we need to do is divide it with the delay of the reference inverter with same driving capacity, right? So that will be T NAND2 kx. So when I put this cap, it means it is normalized. So this thing, the above thing, divided by T inverter kx. But T inverter kx, that doesn't change with scaling. So we know that it is 3 RC. So this entire thing 6 RC plus RCL by K divided by 3 RC. Okay, so inverter, whether you are scaling it, so here there is this is without load. I think I have not mentioned that when I wrote the note. So to find the normalized delay, we have to divide it with the reference inverter of same drive capability but without load. So without load. So the inverter will be without load, though it is with the same drive capacity. Okay, so that makes a lot of difference. Okay, so what does it give you? So this will give us so 6 RC by 3 RC, that was our earlier 2, and then we have an additional new factor. So this is the parasitic normalized delay which we found earlier part of the problem. Earlier problem we have done that. So now we have an additional thing which is going to be, see, R will get cancelled. So that is so we will have CL divided by 3C, sorry, 3KC, CL divided by 3KC. Okay, so now this C is basically yeah. So 3C is basically what? 3C is basically the input capacitance of the reference unit inverter. Okay. So let me just note down here where 3C is basically the gate or input capacitance of the unit reference inverter. Okay. Now what is K? Now how can you define K? Now K can be defined in the following manner. It is basically the ratio of input capacitance of C NAND with Kx divided by C NAND U. Okay. Or in general, any gate, when you scale it by a factor k, its input capacitance will increase by a factor of k. So if you take the ratio of so here we are taking NAND 2, so that is why I am taking NAND 2. This is true about any gate. So whenever we upscale a particular gate by a factor k, then its input capacitance will also be scaled up by a factor k. Okay, so in general you can write it as, for any gate it is true, Cg Kx, so that's any gate with a scaled up version divided by the same gate with the unit scale, that means the lowest reference NAND 2 or NOR 3, whatever. So that we can define. So therefore, if we substitute that definition, so our normalized NAND 2 gate is going to be 2 plus CL divided by 3C is here into, so instead of K I will substitute it as C and 2 Kx divided by C NAND unit. So that ratio I am putting. So these are input gates. So now this I can write it as, so I can take this to the numerator, and this will become C NAND U by 3C. I will combine these two, and the other term is basically CL divided by C NAND 2 Kx. Okay. Now I already told you this 3C is basically the input capacitance of the unit reference inverter. So I can, so noting down that, so now I have basically 3 quantities here, okay, and I am going to name these quantities. So this is one quantity, this is another quantity, and this is another. So they are physically corresponding to 3 different aspects in the circuit. Okay, so the total normalized delay of any gate with any scale okay, in the presence of load, has three components in it, okay, and the components, so all of these are can be expressed in terms of capacitance, okay. So for example, the first component is corresponding to parasitic, so I will call this as P. Then the next component, that is there is a product term here, and we are basically taking the unit NAND gate, and so this is basically C NAND U is basically the input capacitance of the unit gate, input capacitance of unit gate, and this is basically input capacitance of scaled, okay, same gate, okay. So this is basically ratio of the input capacitance of the unit gate or NAND 2 gate, in this case should be written as NAND 2. So let me just write NAND 2 unit gate capacitance divided by 3C, which is the input capacitance of the unit reference gate. So this one is referred to as G, okay, PG. And the last one, that is the load capacitor at the output divided by the input capacitance of the gate which is charging that load capacitor, that I will refer to as H. Okay, so these are the three components in the total delay. So let me repeat what I said. So what we are looking at is total delay, okay. So total delay or just simply delay of a gate, deleted. So this is G, this is H. So what we are looking is delay of a gate, with the size scaled by a factor K, and driving a load capacitor CL. So this is what we are looking at, delay of a gate with the size scaled by a factor of K and driving a load CL. And what we are saying is that or normalized delay, once you get the normalized delay, you can find the actual delay by multiplying it with the inverter delay, okay, which is 3 RC. Okay. So it's okay to say delay. So delay of a gate with size of a gate with size scaled by a factor of k and driving a load. So first thing what we do is that we define k as the input capacitance of the gate with scaling divided by input capacitance of the unit gate. So if you are considering NAND 2 after scaling, what is the input capacitance divided by NAND 2 of the unit gate. Okay, so NAND 2 unit gate is denominator and numerator is the capacitance after scale. So this is what we are. So you can define it as CG, okay, gate capacitance with scaling divided by CG unit. So that is one definition that is I have defined, and then what is P? P is basically the parasitic delay of the gate. So that is basically normalized parasitic delay. Okay, so that is which we did few examples we have already done for P. So P of the tau gate with size kx, whatever is the size of the gate, divided by tau inverter with the same size. Okay, so that is P. Then what else we have? G. So what is G? G is basically the ratio of T gate unit T gate divided by T gate inverter. Sorry, T inverter unit gate. Okay, so that's what we did. Look at the definition. Okay, so R will get cancelled. So so this is now written in terms of C, but you can put an R numerator and denominator. 3RC is going to be the inverter delay, and so here it is U. Okay, and R multiplied by this NAND to U, so that is going to be the that's going to be the delay of the gate, unit gate. Then finally we have H. So H is basically, what was it, CL divided by C. Okay, so maybe it is better to denote with capacitance. Okay, so let me correct everything to capacitance. let's keep with the previous definition itself. So this is C, and then this is CL divided by C gate Kx. Now P can also be written as C, cancelling the R we can write C gate Kx divided by C inverter Kx. Okay, now this has some names to it. P is called P is called parasitic effort, and G is called logical effort, and H is called electrical effort. Okay, so these are three aspects. Parasitic, I hope all of you understand it by now. So the total delay is basically parasitic effort plus logical effort into electrical effort. So that is basically the formula for finding the delay of a gate with some load capacitance. Okay, delay of a gate with the load. So this will give us basically the normalized delay. Okay, so let me just write therefore the delay of gate is equal to P plus GH into inverter unit inverter delay, which is basically 3 RC. Okay, so after normalizing we will have only P plus GH. So if you want to get back the original, so always we talk about the delay of every gate in terms of the inverter delay, the standard inverter unit inverter delay, so which is tau. Okay, that we know that it is equal to, this is equal to 3 RC. Okay, so that will be always available with us. So with respect to that, how much is the delay? Okay, so if you find out P, G and H, then you will be able to get the delay. Okay, so now what we can do is the normalized delay we can plot with respect to variation of the load capacitance. So in one of the earlier experiment I have asked you to do that for inverter. Okay, so before we go there, let me just give some more idea about each of this terminology. Logical effort, parasitic effort, I hope you understand. It is independent of the scaling that we have seen. So it is basically the ratio of the gate capacitance at the input with respect to the gate capacitance of the inverter. So when you take the ratio, you get parasitic delay. Then logical effort means it's entirely due to the construction of the logic. So the way we are going to orient the circuit, so that is what giving rise to some delay. For example, NAND gate we have to connect in this manner, so there is going to be a circuit which generates that logic. If it is NOR 2, NOR 3, then we will have a different way of connection. So because the way in which we are going to organize this PMOS and NMOS transistor in relationship with the inverter, there is going to be a effort in creating that logic. So that's what basically the G. Okay, so G is basically the logical effort. So as you can see that it is the C gate with respect to, so you can take any example and find out the logical effort. For example, let's find the logical effort of some popular gates. Question: find the logical effort of NAND 2 or 2 and 3. Okay, so let's take 2-3 examples like this. So NAND 2, so G for NAND 2, so that is determined by the input capacitance of the gate, NAND 2 gate. So NAND 2 gate input capacitance is what? So input capacitance is given by, if you look at the circuit diagram, I have already written somewhere. Yeah. So this is the NAND 2 input capacitance. If you consider scaling, it is 4 kC, otherwise it is 4C. Okay. So it is 4C. And what about the reference inverter or unit reference inverter? So this could be, if you are taking both unit, then NAND 2 unit and inverter unit. So this will be 3C, because PMOS has a width of 2, NMOS has width of 1, so it will be 2 plus 1, 3C. So this is 4 by 3. So that is the logical effort. So with respect to the inverter, it has a larger effort. Okay, so that will play in the delay of the gate. Then NOR 2, G of NOR 2. So again you have to look at the NOR 2 circuit, the input capacitance you have to look at. So NOR 2, if you look at PMOS has PMOSs are in series, and so the gate will have 4C, and NMOS, so let me just draw for clarity. So NOR 2, okay, so this is NOR 2. So the sizing is basically, this is 4, 4, 1, 1. So one PMOS will be connected with one NMOS. So if this is A and this A, so you will connect this together. So this is the capacitance we are talking about. So that will be 4 plus 1, so this is 5C. So therefore I can write 5C by 3C. This is 5 by 3. Then logical effort of NAND 3. So for different logic gates, it is different logical effort. So that is going to be so NAND 3. This was NOR 4. Now NAND 3 is how? NAND 3 will have like this. So if you look at what are the size here, so this is going to be 2, 2, 2, and this is going to be 3, 3, 3. So if you connect one and most, so this is going to become 5, 2 plus 3. So it is going to be 5. So again this is 5c by 3c, again 5 by 3. So you need to know the connection, okay, you need to know the circuit, and then take the connection. For example, if this is A and this is also A, you have to find this capacitance. So 3 plus 2, so that is 5c. So that will decide basically your logical effort. Then H is electrical effort. Electrical effort is determined by the output capacitance and the input capacitance of the gate. Output load capacitance divided by input. So that is entirely depending upon what is it driving. Okay. So depending upon how much is the load becomes larger, then you have to basically make more effort, okay, and therefore more delay will be introduced. Okay, so that is quite easy to see the effect, because from the formula itself we can see that CL by C gate. So if CL is increasing, then the delay will go up. So you can see this by a plot similar to what you did for inverter. So what is the logical effort for inverter? So the logical effort for inverter is basically 3C by 3C, which is 1. Okay. Because everything is with respect to inverter, so okay, so now even if you scale everything, the logical effort definition is such that you need to take a scaled version of the inverter. So after scaling the gate by 2 times, for example here instead of 5C it will become 10C, but then you have to divide it with the reference inverter with the scaled version. So that will be 2 into 3, which will be 6. So the logical effort doesn't change with the scaling. Okay, so now let us draw a characteristics of normalized delay. So this is normalized delay with respect to CL or you can say H. So in the case of inverter, if you are talking about an inverter driving a load resistance, so when the load is 0, H is 0. Okay, H is the electrical effort which is proportional to load. So when the load is 0, you have only one thing, which is the parasitic capacitance. And parasitic capacitance is or parasitic delay. Parasitic delay is basically after normalization it is 1. And then what happens? So for inverter, so this is going to be 1 plus 1 into h, which is 1 plus h. So if you draw that, you will have something like this. So this is what I have asked you to do. So instead of logical effort, I told you, you take different CL and see what happens to the delay, how it varies. Okay. When you don't put a CL, it will be the parasitic delay. But since here we are normalizing it with respect to the inverter's on input gate, so therefore it is 1. Now let's take NAND 2. So this is for now NAND 2. So NAND 2 has parasitic delay of NAND 2 is what? So the output capacitance you have to see. Okay, so this one you have to be careful. This is output capacity, not gate means it is a logic gate, I mean, not input gate capacitance. So let me just denote that. So what is the output of NAND 2? NAND 2 has 6C capacitance. So 6C divided by 3C, that is your parasitic. So P is equal to basically 2. Then logic G we have found, it is 4 by 3. Logical effort is 4 by 3 into, so that is G, into H. Okay, so this is basically 2 plus 4 by 3 H. So 2 is somewhere here, and 4 by 3 means it is greater than 1. So slope will increase. Okay, so they will diverge. So slope is equal to G NAND 2. Here slope is equal to G inverted, which is 1. So G NAND 2, it is 4 by 3. Okay, and what is this? So this is basically P NAND 2, and this is your P inverter. Okay, after normalizing. So after normalizing it is 1. Otherwise you have to write, so this is normalized. This cap means I am normalizing it. Okay, similarly you can draw it for any gate. If it is say NOR 2, so for NOR 2 what was the case? NOR 2 also the output is, so NOR 2 gate is here. So you can see that 4C plus C plus C. So the output capacitance is going to be 6C. So the parasitic is going to be 2. Normalize the parasitic effort is 2, and then the slope is 5 by 3. So it is even larger slope. So you start from here. Sorry, then yeah. So this is the slope, or slope is basically G NOR 2. It is 5 by 3. So 5 by 3 is greater than 4 by 3. So that means the slope is bigger. But when the load is 0, it will start from there. So this plot of normalized delay of a gate shows all the three factors. Okay, so the y-intercept is basically the parasitic effort, slope is the logical effort, and then x-axis independent variable is the electrical effort. So as the electrical effort increases, how the normalized delay changes. So once you have the normalized delay, you multiply it with the 3RC, which is the unit inverter delay. That will give you the total delay. Unit inverter delay without any load. Okay, so that is same as irrespective of whatever is the. Okay, so let's do a problem now. The problem is you have a. Okay, so this problem we are going to introduce a new thing which is called path delay. So let's. So now if you cascade the gates one after the other, okay, and then if you find the delay at a later stage, so that is what we mean by path delay. So let's take an example. So this is the gate 1. This is okay, this is an inverter, okay, and the size is given as 1x. Okay, I will put the size little later, and then I have two input NAND gate, then 3 input NOR gate. So this is G1, G2, G3, 3 gates. And let's say that here I have a capacitance which is load capacitance. Let us say that it is 100 C. Okay, so where C, so C is the capacitance, or I can say gate capacitance or input capacitance, of NMOS transistor in unit reference inverter. Okay, C is the input capacitance of a. So input capacitance means it's basically the gate capacitance of an NMOS transistor in the unit reference. So that is 100 C. Now I am going to specify the size of each of this. Let's say this is 1x unit inverter, this is 2x, and this is 4x. Now the question is find the delay between from input to the output. Okay, so find this delay. Okay. Between this input and output, what is the path delay? So all the concepts that we have so far developed are required to solve this problem. So this kind of problems you should be prepared with. So I can vary this gates, I can vary the scaling of each gate, and you should be able to do this. Okay, so what we need to do is that in order to solve problems like this, you need to find out each and every components for each of the stage. Okay, there are three stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So I'll make a table for different stages. So this is G1, G2, G3, and then we'll make a table like this. Okay, first thing I would evaluate is basically the input capacitance, C in. Then I need the load capacitance for each stage. Okay, so the load of G1 is basically the input capacitance of G2. Okay, for the final stage the load is given. And then electrical effort, H is electrical effort, and then I need G, which is the logical effort. And then P, parasitic effort. Then the normalized delay of each stage, so which I denote like this. So this is Ti, so T1, T2, T3, like that. Okay, so the formula for Ti is basically Pi plus Gi into Hi. Okay, so and then finally if you just add all of this Ti's, you get total or path delay. Let me just denote it as path. Is basically sigma okay. All right, so that's the procedure we are going to do. So let us start. So what is the input capacitance of the first stage, that is the inverter? So that is going to be 3C. Use a different color. So this will be 3C. Okay, so that is going to be the inverter. So there is basically one NMOS and one PMOS. PMOS has width or size 2, NMOS has size 1, and therefore the input capacitance, because we are connecting them, it is 3C. What about 2 input NAND gate? So 2 input NAND gate, if it is a unit NAND 2 gate, for unit NAND 2 gate we have 2, that is 4C. Okay, but it is now scaled by a factor of 2, so you need to scale the input capacitance, so it will be 8C. Okay, 4C is for unit NAND 2. Now a scaled version of the unit NAND 2 is going to have a scaled version of that input capacitance. Now next is NOR 3. Okay, so NOR 3, what is the input capacitance? Input capacitance is so you have to imagine the circuit. NOR 3, I think we have drawn somewhere here. Yeah, so this is NOR 3 circuit. So the basic NOR 3 will have 111 in the bottom and then 666 in the top. So 6 plus 1, that is 7. But if you are scaling it by a factor of 4, then it is basically 24 plus 4. So whatever we have, this is basically exactly what we have in the circuit. And NOR 3 gate with sizing or scaling by a factor of 4. So that will give you 24 plus 4, that is 28C. So either you can find it out directly, or you can take a NOR 3 unit gate which will have a 7C, then multiply it with 4. So that will give you 28C. Okay, now comes the load. So that is very easy to see from here. The load of the first is basically the input capacitance of the next stage. So that will be just this one, you just put it here, and this one you put it here. And the final load is basically given directly, it is 100C. Now comes the electrical effort. Now what is the electrical effort? It is basically the for every stage there is a load capacitance divided by the input capacitance. So it is basically a ratio of the above two column. So this is by 8 by 3. This is 28 by 8. 28 by 8 is what? You can divide by 4. So 7 by 2. 7 by 2. Then this is 100 by 28. Okay, let's keep it like that. And then comes the logical effort. I think some of these we have already found. Logical effort for inverter is, for unit inverter, it is 1. And then for NAND 2 also we some time ago found it out. I think it was 4 by 3. Yeah, NAND 2 is 4 by 3. NOR 3 we did not find. So that we have to find. So 4 by 3. And the logical effort of NOR 3. Okay, so you have to follow the same procedure. Calculate the input capacitance of NOR 3. So NOR 3 will have I think we have the circuit here. So this is NOR 3 circuit. So what is the normally it is for unit. So you can just take unit case. So it will be 666. So 6 plus 1, 7. 6 and 1. 6 for PMOS and 1 for NMOS. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 by 3. Inverter it is 3C. So 7 by 3. Now comes the parasitic. So parasitic, since these are all normalized, so 3C by 3C or 3RC by 3RC. And for NAND 2 the output capacitance is what? So our definition is output capacitance of NAND 2 gate divided by, so this also doesn't change with whether it is scaled or not, so you can write unit also, see at the output, and then inverter unit. Okay, and for unit NAND 2 gate, you have an output capacitance of 6C divided by 3C. So that will be 2. And for NOR 3, if you look at the output capacitance of NOR 3, there are 3 NMOS, each having 111, and then PMOS at the output will give you 6C. So 6C plus C plus C plus C, so that is 9C, 9C by 3C, so that is going to be 3. Okay, so now it is just a simple calculation. Pi, that is 1, plus Gi, that is 1, into Hi. So 1 plus 8 by 3. Then Pi, that is 2 into G into H. So G into H, if you do, that will be 14 by 3. Right? 4 by 3 into 7 by 2. So 2 to cancel, and 2 into 7, that is 14 by 3. And then finally we have 3 plus 7 by 3 into so this also you can simplify it further and write it as 25 by 7. Okay, so G into H, if you take 7 will get cancelled, so that will be 25 by 3. Okay, so finally the path delay is going to be equal to sum of all this delay. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, so that is going to be 6 plus 8 plus 14 plus 25. So you can find this. So that is 8 plus 14 plus 25 is 47 by 3. Divided by 3 is 15.6 plus 6. So we have 21.67. Okay, so this has no units, okay, because it is normalized. So the actual delay tau path is the normalized path delay multiply 3 RC. So 3 RC is basically the delay of the inverter. So if you have that, so that means so this into 3, which is 65 RC. Okay, so if R and C of the reference inverter are given in the problem, then you can just substitute. So I don't remember how much we have measured it in our simulation. So multiply it with 65. So that is going to be the delay introduced by the path which consists of 3 stages. Okay, gate 1, gate 2, gate 3. Okay, so what we have done today is basically ultimately we ended up calculating the path delay. So path delay consists of summing up all the delays produced by individual stages, and the delay of an individual stage we found earlier as the normalized delay is P plus GH, where P is the parasitic effort, G is the logical effort, and H is the electrical effort. Okay. And we defined each of this, did examples for finding out parasitic effort, logical effort for different gates. And if you look at the formulas for these, what are the quantity that we need? For finding out the parasitic effort, we need the output capacitance. Okay, it is basically the ratio of gate delay divided by the inverter delay. So that will depend upon the output capacitance of each gate. Okay, that should not be confused with the input capacitance. But for inverter, output capacitance and input capacitance are same, so they are both 3C. So that that way you can take any of this. Okay, for inverter, whatever you are dividing in the denominator, so that could be any of this. And in the case of logical effort, it is basically we are only looking at the input. Okay, input of the gate that we are considering, whose delay we are considering, and divide that by the input capacitance of the reference inverter. So if you are taking unit gate, you have to take unit inverter. If you are taking a scaled gate, then so that is important. So you can also do with the scaled version of the gate, so Kx. So then in that case you have to take inverter also scaled version, okay, by the same factor. Otherwise but you will get the same value whether you take unit or scaled version. It is just going to cancel. Basically this is going to be K into C gate U, and here also K into C invert U. So this K will get cancelled, so it doesn't matter whether you take it for scaled version or unit version. And electrical effort is entirely depending upon the output load capacitance. Okay, and there you need to take whatever is the size of the gate. Okay, you have to consider the input capacitance for that. So the sizing information matters only with respect to H. P and G are independent of the sizing, as you can see here. Okay, you can take either unit or you can take Kx because you are dividing it by the same sized inverter, so they will cancel each other. So P and G are independent of sizing or the scaling, whereas H will depend on that. Okay, so as you increase the size of the gate, basically it improves your driving capability by reducing the charging resistance and reducing the discharging resistance, so thereby quickly charging the load capacitance or quickly discharging the load capacitance. So size of the gate matters when you consider the electrical effort. Okay, but it does not matter for logical effort. Logical effort is entirely a factor that is governed by the way in which we connect the PMOS and NMOS transistor in order to generate the circuit. Okay, so different configurations, right? So this is NOR 2 and NAND 3. They are connected in very different way. So that connection will decide what is going to be the input capacitance. So here it is 4 plus 1 5C, here it is 2 plus 3 5C, though both are 5C, but they come by different ways, right? 2 plus 3 and 4 plus 1. Okay, so that is in the circuit detail. Okay, that comes from the circuit detail, how it is different from an inverter. For inverter it is just 3C by 3C. Okay, so everything is with respect to inverter. So logical effort and G and P is 1 for inverter. Okay, but for all other gates G and P are going to be different values. Okay, for parasitic we consider output capacitance. For logical effort we consider the input capacitance. Okay, so I would like to stop here.